Okay, picture this. You have an idea for an app. What if you could turn that single thought into a fully functional piece of software? I'm not just talking about a little code snippet here. I mean the whole thing. Documentation, design, everything, all from just one sentence. Well, that's the incredible promise of MetaGPT. It's basically an entire AI software company right in a box. Let's dive in.
So it all kicks off with something as simple as this. Write a Klein snake game. That's it. No complicated specs, no long-winded instructions, just a single line, exactly like you might toss over to a developer. And believe it or not, that's all MetaGPT needs to get the entire ball rolling.
And from just that one line, it creates everything. Seriously, we're talking user stories, a competitive analysis, the whole system design, API specs, and yeah, of course, the actual runnable code. It's this complete pipeline that acts just like a real software team. So the huge question is, how on earth does it pull that off?
Right? The one-line software company. To really get how this is even possible, we had to look back at why the first tries at this kind of thing just didn't work. It's all about taming some brilliant but pretty disorganized AI agents.
So, the first wave of these autonomous agents, things like AutoGPT, they were super promising, but they had this tendency to be, well, a bit of an unruly mob. They were brilliant, for sure, but totally chaotic. They just chained thoughts together, which sounds cool, but it often meant they'd just wander down these endless rabbit holes, get stuck in loops, and in the end, they just couldn't finish complex jobs. It was like a team with zero management and absolutely no plan. And this really just lays it all out, doesn't it? On the left, you've got that chaotic, unstructured mess of the early agents. And on the right, MetaGPT's superstructured assembly line workflow. The results are just wow. On a really important software development benchmark, AutoGPT's completion rate was a big fat 0. MetaGPT, a perfect 100%. The difference is night and day.
Okay, so how do you tame that chaos? How did they pull off such a huge leap in just being reliable? Well, the secret wasn't just building a smarter AI. It was about a completely different way of thinking about how AI should work together. It all comes down to structure.
And this is the big idea, right here. This little equation, code equals SOP of a team. What it really means is that MetaGPT just formalizes the whole software development process. It takes all the best practices from how human teams work, standardized operating procedures or SOPs, and it bakes them right into the AI workflow. So it's way less like a chaotic brainstorming session and a lot more like a super efficient, finely tuned assembly line. So what does that assembly line actually look like? Well, here's the flow. First, your idea hits the desk of an AI product manager. That PM agent analyzes it and creates a detailed plan. Then that plan gets passed to the architect agent, who designs the whole system. Next up, the project manager agent breaks that big design down into small, bite-sized tasks for the engineer agent, who, you guessed it, writes the code. And finally, a QA engineer agent tests the heck out of it. Every single step is separate and follows a clear order. And this is what makes it a virtual software company. Each AI agent has a very specific role, and more importantly, it produces a very specific, structured output. So the product manager isn't just vaguely thinking about the idea, it's actually writing a formal product requirement document. The architect delivers concrete API specs. This is so crucial because it makes the handoff between agents totally clean and clear. There's no room for confusion. This structure even changes how the AIs talk to each other. It's not some chaotic group chat where everyone's talking over each other and information gets lost. Nope. It's more like a smart company message board. When one agent finishes its work, it posts a memo. And only the next agent in the assembly line, the one who needs that specific memo, gets a notification. It's super efficient and cuts out all the noise. Okay, inside the AI assembly line. The theory sounds great, right? But the real proof is in the numbers. So let's look at the hard data and see if this whole structured approach actually works.
Yeah, we saw this number earlier, but it is absolutely worth repeating because it's the main event. 100%. On a benchmark where those earlier unstructured agents failed every single time, MetaGPT nailed it. I mean, just think about that for a second. Going from a 0% success rate to 100%. That kind of reliability is a total game changer for autonomous agents. And it's not just that it gets the job done, it's how it gets it done. The quality is just fantastic. It scored a 3.75 out of 4 on executability. What that means in plain English is that the code it writes is almost always perfect and ready to run, right out of the box. This isn't just some janky code that technically works. We're talking high-quality stuff. This chart really drives the point home. MetaGPT is a massive force multiplier. Look at this. On its own, a super powerful model like GPT-4 scores a pretty good 67% on this coding test. But you wrap it in the MetaGPT framework, and that score shoots up to almost 86%. The system doesn't just use the AI, it makes the AI better by keeping it focused and on task. All right, let's put MetaGPT to the test. We've seen the impressive data, so now let's zoom out a bit. How does this thing stack up against other multi-agent frameworks out there? And what are the real strengths and, the trade-offs? This table really helps place it in the whole AI agent landscape. You've got AutoGPT, the chaotic but important pioneer. Then there's Microsoft's AutoGen, which is really built for more flexible, conversational stuff. MetaGPT is different. It's a specialist. It's laser-focused on doing one thing incredibly well, reliable software engineering, using that superstructured assembly line process. So why does any of this matter? What are the big wins here? Well, first, you get guaranteed consistency. Those SOPs mean you get high-quality output every time. Second, the performance is proven with hard data. It's not just hype. Third, it's actually pretty smart with money. You can use a big, expensive model for the high-level architecture and a cheaper, faster one for the actual coding. And maybe most importantly, it can correct itself. It has this feedback loop where it literally tests and debugs its own code. But of course, there are trade-offs. You always have them. Its biggest strength, all that structure, is also its main limitation. That rigid assembly line is perfect when you know exactly what you want to build. But for more agile, exploratory projects where you're figuring things out as you go, it's not the best fit. It's a precision tool, not a Swiss Army knife. So the future of AI coders. Look, MetaGPT is a huge leap forward. We're moving away from just chaotic AI agents to structured, collaborative AI teams. It's more than just another tool. It's a whole new way of thinking about how to get work done. And that leaves us with one pretty big question. Will your next coworker be a team of AIs? I mean, frameworks like MetaGPT go way beyond the idea of just having a single AI assistant. This is about a fully autonomous, specialized team of AIs that can take a goal and just run with it from start to finish. It really makes you wonder, right? Are we looking at the future of the software development team itself?